So yes, good. Let's have our article for today, which is very small. So let's start.
Did you know we used to say that a cow is an animal like a sheep or a pig, but cow really means the female animal only. The male animal is a bull. Cows and bulls together are called cattle. In the
Plural.
plural, there are
Plural. Plural.
plural.
Yes, plural.
Plural.
Okay.
There are just under one cattle.
Billion. 1 billion.
1 billion cattle all around the world. The humans back
The human
the
population.
human what?
Human
The human
population.
population is over 7.5 billion. So there's a cow or a bull or a bull for every every 7.5 people. There are more than a billion sheep on our planet, and many of them are found in China, India, and Australia, where they're used to produce meat and wool. According
According.
according
According.
according
According. Ding. According.
according according to
Scientists.
sheep and intelligent animals
Sheep are intelligent.
are intelligent animals. They have a good mirror
Memory.
memory and memory and they can remember, but remember not only other sheep, but also people. However, they are not so smart in our ways. If they fall on their backs, they need help to stand up again.
So let's look at this one. Right. Let's look at this, what we're saying before we go back to the top and polish up some few points. Right. Number one, we have 1
1
billion,
billion.
right, which is how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, which is
9.
9 zeros. It's good. So that is 1 billion. And then here, what are they saying?
7.5 billion. 7.9
7.5.
7.5 or 7.5 billion.
Very good. So here, when we have a number in amounts, right? When we have numbers, right? We use this one as 7.5, right?
Yeah.
The dot here is considered as point, right?
Yeah.
Or usually we can 7.5 or it's a dot, right? So right, so that is it. Here we just want to concentrate on this one because we've got the other part, we'll find it later. Then we've got 7.5, right? Or 7.5 billion. So usually when we have, why are they saying and a half? Right? Why are they saying and a half here or 7.5? Because when we add in math, we've got 0, 0.5, right?
Mm.
Plus 0.5, right? If we add this one, they give us a whole number, which is 1, right?
1.
Yes. So that is why they are calling it a half, right? Point, right? It's called and a half. Here we're saying and a half. That is a half of a billion, which is 500, what? 500 million, right?
Mm.
Right. Right. 500,000 million, right? That is how we are getting it. 500,000 million. That is how, that is the half of a billion. 500,000 million. Sorry, right? That is what we are going. What? That is half of a billion. So that is what we're saying. 5.5. And then here, look at the next one here. What are we saying? Look at the last one here.
1.25 or 1 and a and
A quarter.
a quarter.
Very good. So we have half. Then if we cut another half, what do we have? This part is the quarter, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you see, where in the mathematics part, it's also linked with the English, right? So if you find yourself knowing English and then the mathematics part in knowing English, it becomes easy, right? So that is the quarter, right? A quarter of a full, which is also a 0.25, right? That is, and then we can say 1.25 or 3.25, and 3 and a quarter, 3 and, right, 5 and 7 and a quarter. Right. That is how we are getting these explanation here. Yeah. So what we were, and let me see, we usually and right. So the first one is plural, right? So what is plural, right? So when we say plural, we remember when we say one, right? One person, right?
Mm.
One person is single, with singular, right? Which is one, right? Singular, right? So we've got 2 pounds. So we've got the word single is coming from, right, which means one. And then plural, it means 2 or more, right?
Mm.
Right. So once we have 2 things, these are plural. 2 or more, it becomes the word plural. All right. So 2 or more, going up, we say 2, 3, 2, 3 people. 2 people, it becomes a plural. 2 cows, it becomes a plural. Cattle, right? When we're saying cattle, it becomes a plural. 2 bulls, it becomes a plural. 2 cars, as long we have s or some other, don't put s, well, it becomes a plural when we have many from 2 and going up. And then the other word was this one, population, right? We say population.
Population.
Yes, population. What is population? You know what is population?
I don't know.
All right, population is the number, right, of things. For example, we are talking about people. We are saying we have 7.5 billion people, right? That is the number of people in the world, right? Okay, so that is the number of people in the world. And then we look at population, right? Let's say the in Shanghai, right? We can say it is 1,000, 5,000? I don't know. That is the number of people, right? Or the number here we're talking about, or the number of cattle, right? In the world, right? We are told that the number of cattle in the world, right, is how much, right? For 1 billion, right? Or the number of sheep, right? How many sheep are in the planet, right? So the other word was planet. I remember this word, we did it when we were talking about books, The Little Prince, right? This one, planet, we did when we're talking about the Little Prince, when we talked about different planets, right? Planet. It means the
Planet.
yes, in this world, in our planet, in our world, planet Earth, right? That is right. When we say we have right. So and then the other word was produce. Juice. Produce.
Produce.
Yes, produce, right? So when we have production, produce, this one is called CE at the end. We have produce, right? So you have to look at the word. So this word is got different words. You look at produce, right? All right, produce. All right. And then we come to the next according.
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 Very good. According, right? It means, right? If we can say according to Isabel, right? It means what Isabel has said, right? Okay. So it means what Isabel has said according to Isabel. If you say according to Isabel, it will rain in Shanghai tomorrow, right? It simply says we we are basing this assumption because Isabel said so, right? It's what Isabel said. We don't know if it's true or what. So it's just a fact that is spoken by Isabel. All right. So now let's look at the next one, and the other one is, remember this one. Scientist.
Scientists.
Very good. Scientist. Very good. You know what a scientist is, right? What is a scientist?
It's
Can you say it in Chinese? What a scientist is?
科学家.
All right, so that is good. Right, so what a scientist, those people who look at chemicals, tissues, human tissue or animal tissue, you know, those are the people that are called scientists. All right, and so we have this one. This word is called intelligent.
Intelligent.
Intelligent. So what are we actually talking about when we say intelligent? It is a simple way of saying how clever a person is, right? Yes. How clever a person is, right? How clever are you? Right. So that is what we call intelligence. As we are going, which one they will say a memory, right?
Yeah.
So they have a good memory. What is a memory? Do you remember what we did yesterday? Do you remember what we did yesterday? All right. So memory is to remember what about something. It can be what we did yesterday. It can be what you ate yesterday or last week. To remember what you to remember a certain event, right?
Mm.
Alright. So that is what we call a memory. So if you say they have a good memory, they can remember, right? And so you say if they have a good memory and they can remember, it is true. If they see Isabel today, they will remember and say, "Oh, this is Isabel. Isabel was okay."
Mm.
So that is a memory. And then to recall an event. Right. And let's see, however they are not smart and they want to fall, they can fall back. So that is all what we came across. The words that were a little bit tricky. Remember, billion, billion,
Billion.
billion. Very good. A bill and leon. So we've got bill, right? Bill and eon, right? So you see, you've got two words, bill and leon. So you say billion, billion,
Billion.
leon, right? Like a lion, leon, leon. So if it's like this, it is come a leon, billion.
Billion.
Very good. So that's it. That's it. All right. So let's continue to the next one. So do you have a question here?
No.
No question. All right. That is wonderful. All right. Let's see. All right. So we have this adult animal and a baby animal. So what are we supposed to say? The first part, number one,
Cat, kitten,
kitten.
kitten.
Good.
Dog, puppy.
Dog.
Chicken, chick. Pig, piglet. Cow, cow. Cow. Calf,
Yes. Cow.
calf.
Yeah, that is wonderful. Cow. Cow.
Cow, calf. Uh,
The next one.
uh,
Foal. That is a foal. That is a horse.
Horse,
Horse.
house.
Yes. What else do we have? Number
Uh,
7.
Number 7 is I don't know.
Number 7, we have a lion, right?
Yes.
All right. A lion is a cub.
Couple.
Cub. Okay, let me
Cup.
so let me try to write it for you so that we can see. Right, kitten, right? Number 1, we said kitten, right? Number 2, we said number 2. What did we say?
Number 2 is dog.
That is dog and puppy. And number 3,
Chick.
chick. That is very good. And then so we have chick. And then let's see if we have, and then have pig and piglet, which is good. Number 7, number 5, we said a calf, which
Cow.
is, yes, okay, what is wrong with this? A calf, which is C-A, calf. And then here a 4, we say it is a horse, right?
Is
Horse.
house.
Horse.
House.
Horse.
House.
And then here we have a lion, and then we've got a lion cub.
Cub.
Yes. And then here what we have, number 8.
It's goat.
Let me go. Number 8, goats. That is what we have for baby animals, right? So you can see the animals, which they are called, and that is how we have them. All right, let's move on to this part. Okay, let's just erase all. Let's continue. Yeah, and now we have the color reading, right?
Yeah.
So as you say, all right. So we have to look at the photo and the title of what of the article. What
What do you think is unusual about the school in article?
what do you think about the what is this what unusual about the school article? Well, in the article, right? And then so what do you think? So will this photo, what do you think is unusual?
What?
What do you think is unusual? The article, right? The title of the article is called A Countryside Classroom. And the picture here it is. So what is unusual about it?
Uh,
What is unusual?
uh,
Right. So here what we have, I think is unusual is the classroom is outside and they have a court, right? That is something which is unusual. Do you usually have a class outside in the countryside? In the barn? No, we don't have that. We don't usually have a class, right, with animals, right? Okay, so that is what we have to find about unusual things. Just look at anything that you think is unusual that you don't usually do in class. That is what we call unusual. Right. Okay. Now let's continue. Let's read. Can you read the article?
a countryside classroom.
A country
A
side.
countryside classroom. How do you like the idea of slamming part of your school
Spending.
day? Spending part of your school day feeding animals or planting crops? That may sound strange for students at my school. Those things are part of an normal school day. That's because Bankai Park College has its own real working farm. On the farm, we can cattle, sheep, pigs, chickens, houses, and several small furry animals. We see many of the farm animals being born, and we help to care for them as they grow. The meat is then sold in the school's own farm shop, which the students help to run. In fact, Brock High School meat can be found of some of the top restaurants in the area. Some
Area.
students don't like the idea of eating meat from our own animals, but I come from a farming family, so I'm used to it. It's important to teach students where food comes from. So every year 7 and year 8 students have a peer week called the Great Outdoors. In these lessons, year 7 students are taught about course and science behind food and how bread is made. Year 8 students, on the other hand, learned about farm animals and meat production. Older students can choose to take the qualification in animal care and animal management, which that I hope to do because it would help towards a career in
A career.
a career in
Career in right.
agriculture of agriculture of
Further studies. Or further studies.
further studies in animal care. My dream would
So
be
hold
to
on. Right. So what is feather? Right. Right. So what is feather? We are saying right. This is this is a road, right? And you are here, right? And you are here, and then we say you are going, right? And then you go, you reach here, right? Your stop is here, and then if you have gone this far, right? You've got far, and then if you move more distance, another distance, you are going further, right? To your you're going further to the point, right? So that is further, it means going a step ahead. So of further studies, right? So that is when we're saying of further studies, here is when we're talking a step more in the education, right? I would like after you finish after you finish secondary, right? After you finish primary, you want to further your education and go to secondary, right? And then after finishing secondary, you go further with your education. You are going another step with your education to the university. Yeah, that is to go another step. Further is to go another stage. Right. We can say another step or another stage. All right, so let's continue. My dream.
My dream would be to become a vent like my uncle, but I
Wow.
doubt I'm clever enough. Our teachers are also encouraged to use the farm to teach their individual individual subjects. So, for example, they are often given math
Challenges.
challenges which
challenges
which we have to do around the farm. It's fun and makes the math more relevant to real life.
Right, to real life. And then that's good.
I was finally persuaded to join the school's Young Farmers Club and only wish I had done it sooner. We meet weekly and I've learned even more about the animals and in particular how to show them. We take the best animal to Narrow City Show, which is held every July. It's an amazing achievement that we always win a prize. Some of the old club members also organize special events for the public, such as Lambing Day in spring. And if they're lucky, they might even see a lamb being born.
Okay. So that was quite fast. So usually, okay, that is quite good when for yourself and not quite reading for the mouth. That would be too fast. But anyway, let's look at the wording and so that we can call it a day. But anyway, here are the wordings, some few wordings which were a little bit tricky for you. This one we said vet. Vet. All right. All right. And then this one, remember we say this one is individual.
Individual.
Very good. And then we have another one which is challenges. And then we have relevant. Very good. Relevant. So which one was it? The other one was this one. We talked about encourage, right?
Yeah.
So that is it. Encouraged and further, and that is often that is what we have, and other words will be management, and then animal care. You see, care. And then this one is career. Yes, a career. So we've got right. So that is it. And right. Brookhill. Very good. That is wonderful. I think that's all about today, and we are done right for this one. So we will also review it tomorrow again, and then we can have something another one to do. All right. So that is it. All right. Have a good night.
Have a good night.